What's going on YouTube? My name is Z and I've been doing both calisthenics and weights for about 9 years now, mixed them both at a very high level. I've benched 4 or 5 before. I've achieved the full planche push-ups. I've done a Maltese before, human flag pull-ups that lifted 585, power clean 315. So I think I know what I'm doing when it comes to combining both calisthenics and weights. And I think I'm in a very unique position to talk about today's topic, which is should you train legs as a calisthenics athlete? If you just want to click off, you want the answer is yes, absolutely, 100%. Don't question it. If you want to know a longer answer and my explanation why that, stay tuned. Basically, the issue with training legs as a calisthenics athlete is going to make a lot of static moves a lot harder because you want basically a lot of your mass to be in your upper body because that's actually what's going to allow you to hold the skills like planches, levers, you, all your strength and all your mass, you want it to be biased towards the upper body. And by training legs, you're going to be biasing your mass more towards the center, even to your lower body, depending on how big your legs get. Basically makes the lever harder. I'm not going to go into whole physics lessons, but if you want me to actually break it down on a whiteboard or something with a diagram, let me know. I'll be happy to figure that out for you. But basically the physics is, it works out so that when you train legs, these skill-based movements, these lever-based movements are going to become harder once you start training legs. But that's exactly why I think you should train legs. Just because something is harder doesn't mean you should do it. Life itself is hard, working out is hard, calisthenics is hard. It took me 2.5 years, almost 3 years to achieve a full planche, and that was just for 1 second. Basically, it took me another year to get comfortable with the full planche, and I'm still perfecting my technique all these years later. And if you're already committed to learning, if you're already clicking on this video wondering whether you should train legs, then you're probably already committed to learning these skills, and you probably know that it's going to take a lot of effort, and it's probably going to take a long time. And if you're already signing up to do something hard, why do you not want to just make it a little bit harder to train your legs? Your legs are literally the foundation of your entire body. They allow you to move from place to place. They, you can't stand up out of a chair without good leg strength, basic leg strength. It is one of the most important muscle groups. It's probably the second most important muscle group you should be training after your heart, and that's a separate video for another time, training your heart and cardio. But just because something is difficult doesn't mean that you should just avoid it completely. You're just going to avoid every other hard thing in your life. Making money is hard. Learning new skills is hard. Learning a trade, getting a degree is hard. But just because something's hard doesn't mean you're not going to do it. And those are very general things. When it comes to working out, if you're already learning a planche, but you're second guessing, oh, it's going to be so hard to learn a planche with legs if I train legs. Well, learning a planche itself is hard, so I can just learn a back lever and call it a day. It's basically the same position, just your arms are in a different position, right? And that's my point. Think of how much more rewarding it will be when you learn the planche as you train legs. And I think the issue is people think they're going to develop these crazy big legs. It's the same thing with women, and they think they're immediately going to bulk up if they just start lifting weights. The problem is that's going to take years. And the same thing with your legs. It's going to take years for your legs to really have a huge effect on your lever-based training. I've been training legs since the start of I started training legs actually before I started doing calisthenics, with karate as a kid and then track. I did track for about a year and a half before I even started calisthenics. So I was already working my legs for a decent while before I started calisthenics. And yes, it has made my calisthenics journey harder, but I was able to do a full planche, deadlift 585 pounds, front squat 385 pounds, power clean heavy weights well into the 300s, all while still doing clapping handstand push-ups, planches. And this is really not to flex or brag or anything like that. This is instead meant to motivate you and inspire you. And if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. When I started calisthenics in this whole hybrid journey, there wasn't as much information as there is online. There's so many resources that we have available to us, whether it's apps, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that teach people how to do calisthenics, and more creators like me who are teaching people how to do both calisthenics and weights at the same time. So you literally have no excuse not to use all these resources to your advantage. And there's so much more training when it comes to just training legs in general. You do not have to build massive legs. I don't think I have massive legs. In fact, I think they're pretty proportional to my body frame. and I'm still a little biased towards my upper body. It's so slightly bigger, but my legs are definitely proportional. I don't think anyone can look at my legs and be like, oh, you don't train legs, you skip leg day, you have chicken legs. Bottom line is, you need your legs to have strength. If you can't even, I'm not telling you to be a sprinter. Hopefully, you can hear me with the train. But if you can't sprint to save your life, or say like you just need a sprint to like catch an elevator door or something, you absolutely can't do that, or you get winded completely, you need to really take a long look at your training. Like you're about to invest into years, or maybe you already have invested into years to train calisthenics. You're telling me you can't do a barbell squat with at least 100% of your body weight. If I weigh 180 pounds, you're telling me that can't do 180 pounds added on the barbell on my back. Tell me I can't squat that. And that is the basic level of strength. I can't do one single rep of a Nordic curl. That is literally calisthenics. That is literally being able to use your hamstrings to curl up your body weight. If you can't do that, if you can't do a pistol squat, you can at least do a little bit of a box jump. Again, I'm not telling you to become an Olympic sprinter or become a crazy deadlifter or squatter, but you should have some basic level of leg strength. And I'm not going to make this video too long. I could go way more in depth about it and how to actually, train your legs without getting crazy big. But bottom line is, train your legs even if you're doing calisthenics. Is it going to make it harder? Yes. Is it going to make it impossible? No. You don't skip things because they're hard. In fact, that should inspire you to want to do it, and it's going to make your calisthenics journey so much more rewarding and meaningful because you're actually doing the harder path. You're not skipping legs. All right, let me know if you have another topic you want me to discuss. Follow me on Instagram, reach out there. That's the best way to reach out if you have more questions. And stay subscribed for more videos like this. All right, I'll catch you all in the next video.